I wonder if you remember the incident of the destruction of the World Trade Center in America, where 2 planes were flown by an enemy into the towers of that center with great destruction. Now, on the morning that happened, it was reported an ordinary boy went in at home into the room where the television was on, and he saw this incident actually happening. But he was unsure, and he called out to his mother, "Mom, is this for real? Is this for real?" Something that was happening quite close to his home at that time. But the boy was used to the television and the virtual reality of the television, and for a moment couldn't distinguish between reality and virtual reality. Now, that small incident became an icon of the era. And remember, an icon is a painting which is meant to open the doors to reality. The icon painting was very important in many religious traditions, and of course was taken over by our media, and we have icons on our computer where we click on them and they open the door to reality, or do they? Icons, paintings, to bring us in touch with reality. Do all paintings do that? Well, no. And it's interesting that, as a month ago, we began our reflection with people for sale. We're continuing now with another unexpected sale that there has been quite recently. A portrait, or a painting rather, of Jesus the Christ, a picture, a representation, painted by Leonardo da Vinci, that master, had been in private hands and had only become known to the public fairly recently. And a few days ago, the painting was put on sale by auction. And it raised, well, amazing to some of us, $400 million US dollars was the price it was sold for. That was its value. Amazing to most of us. And we must all surely have sat down and said, who has got $400 million to buy a painting? Well, it happened. Painting, art, theatre, music, dance. Why do we need these? We're not only prepared to pay an extraordinary amount of money for one painting by a master, but we also have every year one of the Nobel Prizes given for literature. We have several Biennales or Oscars, times when people who are in television, theatre, win prizes for acting, for producing. Why does society value the storytellers, the image makers, the illusion makers, as much as it does, as much as we do? And of course, we are all very well aware of this. The skill and the aim of all artists, whether they are painters or dancers or actors or photographers, is to seem to make something that is not living, there, alive, real. And if it's a person, it's someone with whom I can develop a relationship. So that people will gaze into that painting of Jesus the Christ by Leonardo da Vinci for long enough to be convinced that they understand him and he understands them. A relationship. That is the skill of the actor, to make you think that he really is the person he's portraying, and so on. Our communication technology has increased this desire of ours. For example, I was a little surprised still to hear someone say to me with great joy and enthusiasm, "I now have 500 friends on Facebook." 500 friends on Facebook? Is there a real relationship with any one of those 500 names and addresses? Wonderful. The artist's skills, enriching, but really of very little value unless they lead us, the readers, the viewers, to the reality they are expressing. Hence the icon. No? The reality itself, beyond all our capacity to create illusions. The technology of today can bring us into reality in a most powerful way. Not so very long ago, we used to hear about an earthquake that had just happened somewhere. And now we can sit watching it happen, tens of thousands of miles away. We can see the people rushing for safety, hear them screaming, watch the water pouring in floods, cars being swept away. So the illusion makers can also bring us in immediate touch with reality. We have to reflect on how all this is changing us individually. The ultimate reality, that which alone is, that which lies beyond the grasp of mind or imagination. Impossible for us really to express with all our skills. And yet, throughout all the centuries, in all cultures and all religious traditions, there have been countless men and women who've given witness to having experienced the ultimate reality. Not because of their efforts to express it in words or images or music, because they usually said they failed. It cannot be expressed in any way at all. But they have given witness to the reality by what has changed in their lives. The choices they have made, their way of living. A new, peaceful fearlessness. It's something that is common to them all. And so for our continuing reflection this month, we can start by asking ourselves, well, have I ever experienced even a moment when I sensed that I have moved beyond the surface image, the unreality, the illusion, to what is ultimately the only real, beyond all that my mind and imagination can invent, discuss, create? If I have, And possibly it was in childhood, just an inexpressible moment of sensing I could experience something beyond my mind, beyond my senses, as I said, beyond the illusions, beyond the images, beyond the words, the real, the absolutely real. If I have memory of those moments, and if I've had those moments, I will have the memory of them, then to hold them during this month with gratefulness. And to look again very carefully on how they changed my choices, my attitudes, and then recall the situations which helped me to become awake and aware of those moments at the time they were happening. Have I experienced? You do not need to ask the question, well, why did I not experience? Because if you reflect, you will discover you have. They're there. But hold them, value them, notice how they affected your life, and also what helped you to be awake at that particular moment. Quite often you will find it was because you were alone and you were silent and you were calm and relaxed, even as a child, not trying to grasp or hold or gain something else. But go ahead, look at your own experiences and make your own discoveries this month. And as a short practice, for those of us who would like a little practice, but by the way, if you are a person who has already got a serious spiritual practice, during this month, enjoy it a little more. Don't do it as a routine or as a duty, just enjoy it. And for the rest of us, in our very busy and stressful daily lives, we have to find a moment to pause. We don't have to find a special place or a special time, just to find each day a moment to stop. Just to stop. Close your eyes and slowly take 5 deep breaths in and out. Then notice the stillness of your mind and then listen to the silence beyond it. That's all. It's amazing the effect it will have. But don't look for the effects. Just do it. The first thing you have to do is to remind yourself to stop and pause. So perhaps you do need to choose a place or a time or an action. It could be before you get out of the car when you arrive home in the evening after work, or the moment you open your computer for the day's work. Eyes closed, 5 slow in and out. Then listen. You might find that this is so helpful, you do it several times during the day. Very good. Just begin with 1, and make sure you do it each day. And you will, again, as we said last month, find it's extremely effective. And reality becomes a necessity. And our ability to recognize the unreal world, the virtual world, the augmented reality, the daydreams that we live in, to recognize them for what they are.